Welcome back to TechStrong TV. Lisa Martin here, coming to you live from Wasconi West at RSAC 2025 in San Francisco. This is TechStrong's 10th year of covering RSAC. We've been having some amazing conversations today with cybersecurity experts, which you know because you've been watching since we started. I've got two great guests here next, here to talk about what they're doing in the federal space. Bridget Gleason joins us, the CRO at Spacelift, and Irina Denisenko, the CEO at Knox Systems. Ladies, it's great to have you on the program. Thank you for joining me.
Great to be here.
Love talking partnership stories, so let's do an about for each one.
Okay.
Spacelift. Give the audience an overview. We're talking about infrastructure as code, but what's your secret sauce?
Policy-driven, governance, security, enabling teams to go fast.
Yeah.
It's all about velocity, but you can't sacrifice on security and governance. So that's really the secret sauce.
And you're enabling developers to go faster. You're enabling platform teams to have more control.
Right, the whole ecosystem to go faster, because the name of the game is getting your software out there,
Yes.
and you can't do that if you're not able to deliver it on reliable, secure infrastructure.
Absolutely.
So, and that's all that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
is around security, and it's becoming more and more challenging and more important.
Absolutely.
So we're
It's
seeing
kind of a double-edged sword because
Right.
it's essential, yet there's so much more software being developed every day.
Right.
And that threat landscape just gets more and more amorphous
Right.
and sticky and
Right. There's no surprise that we've seen a huge uptick in demand at
Yeah.
Spacelift.
Irina, give us a background on Knox Systems. Where you based? What do you do? How do you partner with Spacelift?
Thank you. Well, Knox is a very simple concept. We are FedRAMP as a service.
Okay.
We host our customer applications in our federally compliant cloud, and we get them FedRAMPed in 90 days for 90% off of what it takes to do it alone.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
so
huge.
we are so excited to partner with Spacelift to be able to bring them into FedRAMP, but even more importantly, to be able to use them for us. We manage over 20 applications, including Adobe's federal cloud, and we need tooling to do that in a compliant way.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we're so excited to be using Spacelift.
And how long has the partnership been going on?
It's being announced tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
So you're like, this is
we're
hot.
breaking news?
You're breaking news.
Ladies,
here.
thank you. I'm
Breaking
excited.
news. Hot off the press. And you know, when our CEO came to me and was telling me about Knox, and like you said, 90% discount, 90 days, I thought there's no way.
Yeah.
And for us, we have this growing demand. Our growth is being fueled right now by large enterprise, government organizations, lots of regulatory industries. And so having this FedRAMP piece is so significant for us, and also being able to deliver that to Knox is really exciting.
Is this opening the door for Spacelift in the federal space?
Yes, to some don't require FedRAMP,
Okay.
and we're able to satisfy that, but many do require FedRAMP. The other that Irina and I were talking about as we were walking over here is large enterprise. Also, when you have that FedRAMP certification, they know that you've got a very strict security checklist that you've already complied with.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to accelerate also
Sure.
time to market for some other
Right.
companies that we're
Right.
working with.
Well,
so
you're giving them the
we
confidence.
are thrilled.
Yeah. You're giving them the confidence, the customer base,
100%.
of what you're able to deliver. Why would some federal agencies not be required to be FedRAMP certified?
You
Is that?
probably know that as
Yeah, so
I assumed it was a blanket requirement across.
So the situations are really if you're delivering on-prem, and Spacelift is able to deliver
To
both
do
a
both.
SaaS
Okay.
and an on-prem. So if
Okay.
you do on-prem, that's fantastic, and you're able to deliver to the government because
Yep.
effectively you're air-gapped. But for the many SaaS solutions out there, and to be able to operate at the speed of SaaS and at the scale of SaaS, that is where FedRAMP comes in, and that's really where we're enabling Spacelift to really accelerate.
Okay, got it. Talk a little bit about what federal agencies will be able to achieve with this partnership. What's in it for them?
Absolutely. So I'll start off right off the bat. We have 15 federal agencies that serve as our authorization to operate providers. That means they are our sponsors. And they are thrilled about this because what it means to them is they know that the applications that sit in our boundary, the applications that they consume, are that much more secure, that much more observed and compliant with all of not just the FedRAMP regulations, which are very important and really the name of the game, but also there's many additional regulations around now AI coming out, around cryptography coming out, because of course software is moving so quickly. And so as we harden our stack with tools like Spacelift, it means to them that they feel a lot more confident consuming from our cloud.
And you know, I do a lot of marketing. I've been in marketing for a long time, and confidence is critical. It's not a marketing term. That is to be able to give a developer, a platform team, an agency, the trust and the confidence that their applications are secure is not table stakes. It's table stakes.
No, it absolutely has to be. And Irina and I were talking earlier today about how this administration is looking to modernize a lot of the infrastructure.
Yes, it is.
That's going to require, for them to do it, a lot more software companies that are certified to service the government. And it's part of the reason I'm sure you're seeing a big demand. We're seeing a big demand because for us to fulfill that, we've got to satisfy these requirements. So as you said, it's trust.
Yeah.
But it's also, there has to be the security, very real security. And it is frightening to think about with AI and some other tools out there that the threats are getting bigger. And so being able to have a platform like Spacelift that is very strong around security, compliance, governance, et cetera, is critical. One of the things we heard today, we were at the same talk this morning, was companies that want to allow their security folks who are working on compliance issues, everything you need to do to satisfy compliance, they would like them to actually be working on security issues. So a platform like Spacelift that can take away some of those compliance chores and busy work will enable some of the security people. What did they say today? How many? 500,000?
Open positions.
Open positions in
cybersecurity.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
So we've got to make sure that the people that that can be doing security are working on it. And Spacelift can help take away some of the other compliance and auditing and some of those other requirements that we can help fulfill through automation.
Right.
And so you have the security folks focused on
and
what
that's
they need
what
to
they
focus
want
on.
to do. Developers want to develop. Security professionals want to secure. By being able to offload and automate some of those, I don't want to say menial tasks, but tasks that take time and resources is huge.
I don't know if you know that we released an AI agent about 2 weeks ago, Saturn Head AI. And I mean, you're talking about the mundane, repetitive tasks for DevOps engineers. That's finding out what happened when a deployment fails. And it requires looking through very complex, voluminous logs. It's mundane, it's repetitive, and it often requires a more senior engineer to be parsing through those logs. So our agent can go analyze the logs in plain English, give you a description of what happened.
Probably like that.
Like that. And then also, these are the things required to remedy it. So again, making sure that we've got the more senior people deployed on the highest tasks. Yes.
So from a sales perspective, are you selling into developers? Are you selling into security teams? Is it both?
Yes.
All the above?
Yes.
Okay.
We get interest from the developers. We get interest from security. We get interest from CIOs. We get interest from platform teams. It kind of comes across the board depending on what their lens is to look at it.
Okay. What excites you? I mean, there's so much. You talked about AI, and we can't go to a conference without talking about AI, right?
We can't.
Even a fashion conference is going to be talking about AI and fashion, I'm sure. But it's been around for so long, yet the Chat GPT catalyst a couple years ago just brought it front and center, and everybody is diving in head first. But it also opens up vulnerabilities and more opportunities for the bad actors. What excites you about some of the positives that you're seeing in the security space where AI is concerned versus all the fear that's out there?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you from just operating our federal boundary, it is a game changer to have AI reasoning agents that we can custom train on our data, run with open source models that we are able to fully understand, and actually take those agents and scan our boundary for issues with the boundary not being compliant with FedRAMP. So rather than having to do something manually only once a year or once a month or as often as you can get to it, we're able to truly do continuous monitoring, and that is only enabled by AI reasoning agents, which is why we're so excited because, yes, the bad guys are going to move fast, but we're able to move faster.
That's so important because it's like the AI arms race.
Yeah.
We see it country to country, all the competition going on, and we see every organization really embracing AI. It's rare if I talk to a CMO who's not embracing it, at least generative AI. And now it's agentic AI as well, and ephemeral AI. Talk a little bit about the go-to-market strategy, sales, CEO. What is that going to look like from both of your lenses?
With regards to the partnership?
Yes.
Again, we were talking about this on the way over. I asked Irina, so when will we be FedRAMP authorized exactly? And she said
June 1.
June 1. That's
June
around
1.
the corner.
Hit go.
So again, I've got a pipeline of opportunities right now of, again, large enterprise regulated industries, government organizations that have already reached out to us and are looking at spacelift. So I think we'll continue business as usual. We just now, there's a gap that we hadn't filled, and we thought it was going to be, honestly, Lisa, more than a year and very expensive for us to do it. So this is like Christmas for me to have this. I mean, it's so thrilling. And I think for our customers as well, because they're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to create resilient, scalable, secure infrastructure for their environment. So to be able to satisfy that just feels really great. I think it's definitely a win-win.
It sounds like there's already a lot of momentum from a demand perspective. Are you seeing the same thing on the Knox side?
Absolutely. So part of this partnership is actually we at Knox are installing one spacelift worker per application inside of our boundary. So that's already almost 20 workers installed. And as additional customers come on to Knox, they're using spacelift. But the other thing I'll tell you is that even, for example, one of our customers, as I mentioned, is Adobe. They're now starting to look at spacelift as something they might want to be using even beyond just their federal application, but in their development team beyond. So it's a really, because it's such a broadly applicable tool, not just for federal security, but much more beyond that. It's a great place to really spread the word.
Sounds like you guys are going to be awfully busy. That's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. I just want to shout it from the mountaintops. I'm so enthusiastic about.
I love it.
I'm so enthusiastic about the partnership. Again, it fills a great gap.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be great partners. It's so mutually beneficial and reinforcing of one another. So we're really excited about it.
And you're going to be able, we talk about cyber resilience all day long. It's a journey. It's not a destination, but it's also one, I always wonder, how can organizations truly become resilient? How is this a facilitator of that? Because resilience is the goal for so many organizations across industries.
Well, this is one step towards that.
Absolutely. One thing to really, I think the position we take at Knox is to be aggressively conservative, right?
Okay.
And you can only be aggressively conservative in your security practices, in your resource configurations, is if you're able to, one, automate, but B, observe exactly what you're doing. That's why we use infrastructure as code, and we always have. That's why we wanted to use spacelift right out of the gate, and we said, please, would you get FedRAMP, please, so that we can use you. But that is the only way to stay resilient. If you're able to automate and be kind of everywhere all at once all the time, that's the only way.
Right. What do you hope for, last question for both of you, what do you hope, here we are almost in May, June 1, hit the ground running. What is kind of your dream for the rest of 2025 as partners?
Well, I can tell you we're going to be bringing on a number of applications into the Knox boundary. Every single one of them is going to be running spacelift workers to orchestrate their environment. And what I'm so excited about is to really be able to see this, mass machine humming.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that there are going to be, it wasn't that long ago that Log4j took our
No.
entire industry down
Yes.
for, months.
Yes.
And there will be more. And what I'm very excited about is that we are constructing this boundary in a very hardened way, in a very thoughtful way, and Spacelift is a key part of that.
That's critical. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me on TechStrong TV. It's been
Thank
great
you.
to have you
Likewise.
learning about the partnership. Congratulations. The news comes out tomorrow. We got to break some news. I always love it when I get the chance to do that. But it sounds like you're creating that resilience that organizations, not just the federal agencies, but in every industry.
That's right.
have to
That's
have.
right. This definitely goes beyond just federal agencies.
Well-
So it's really thrilling.
Well, congratulations again. And we'll be watching your trajectory. And we thank you for sharing your insights on TechStrong TV.
Thank you.
For my guests, I'm Lisa Martin. You're watching TechStrong TV live from RSAC. This is day one of wall-to-wall coverage, 4 days here on TechStrong. Stay tuned. My next guest joins me in just a minute.